ValveTime.net.
Hi, and welcome to episode 4 of ValveTime Database. In this episode, we'll be returning to the Left 4 Dead series to take a look at the Special Infected. We previously discussed the series' infamous green flu during episode 2 of Database, so be sure to check out that first if you haven't already, as it covers a lot of the groundwork and should get you pretty set up for this episode. While the Special Infected all play unique roles on the zombie battlefields, the origins of these unique mutations are relatively unknown, so we're going to try and examine the creatures as best we can using some of the most popular theories and a variety of symbolism found within the games. In total, 8 powerful infected types are shown to exist in the Left 4 Dead series. 6 special infected, the Boomer, Smoker, Hunter, Jockey, Charger, and Spitter, and 2 boss infected, the Tank and Witch. One particular theory we've recently been considering is the possibility that the 8 special infected may represent the 7 deadly sins as based on the list created by Pope Gregory I in 590 AD, with supporting evidence coming from Peter Binsfield's pairing of each of the sins with a greater demon created in 1589. When asked to comment on this theory, Left 4 Dead's lead writer Chet Falasek responded, "Come on now, we can't ruin the fun and comment, so take this theory with a grain of salt." As we talk about each of the infected, we're going to be revisiting this theme throughout the episode. The special infected each have their own trademark mutations and appearances, all caused by the green flu. The mutation's effects on the Boomer give it its oversized appearance, as evidenced by the grossly swollen belly button and improperly fitting outfits seen on all variations of both the male and female Boomers. This may be caused by the virus hijacking or dissolving the body's digestive tract in an effort to produce and contain bile. After exploding, the Boomer's remains appear hollow, suggesting that most of the Boomer's body and organs have been digested or repurposed to contain and produce bile. In a regularly functioning body, bile is used to aid in the breakdown of fats and fat-soluble vitamins. The repurposing of the digestive tract may cause starvation and malnutrition, resulting in rapid swelling from a condition known as kwashiorkor. As an overweight mass of bile, the Boomer may be representing gullah, or gluttony. Given the Boomer bile attracts zombie hordes, its vomit attack supports this idea. Beelzebub, the demon representing gluttony, is also often referred to as the Lord of Flies, while having control over lesser demons much in the same way the Boomer is the only special infected type to have indirect control over the common infected horde. The Hunter's mutations, on the other hand, appear to be directly related to improved fitness, potentially related to elevated levels of lactic acid present in a host's bloodstream and muscles, helping to improve their strength and stamina after mutation. The Hunter may represent superbia, or pride and hubris. This may also be related to the demon Lucifer, the fallen angel. The Hunter, possibly a fallen survivor, had belief in the ability to survive, as shown by the duct tape keeping the loose sleeves tight against the Hunter's limbs, limiting the possibility of being bitten. Before falling victim to the green flu, it's possible Hunters overestimated their own immunity, which wasn't nearly as divine as their pride had them believe, ultimately leading to their downfall. As for the Smoker, there are a number of theories on how this particular infected received its signature tongue, if it's a tongue at all. One theory suggests that the Smoker's tongue is actually its intestinal tract expelled from the body at high speeds by inflating it with the smoke. Another theory suggests that the infection has developed fungal-like properties within the Smoker, similar to how real-world fungi develop tentacle-like structures. Yet another theory suggests that the tumorous growths on the Smoker's face are actually muscular structures used to propel and retract the tongue. Whatever the origin of the Smoker's tongue, the mutation appears to be more continuous than that of some other special affected. In Left 4 Dead 1, the Smoker features only minor tumorous growths and a single long tongue hanging from his mouth. In Left 4 Dead 2, however, which is set 2 weeks later, the Smoker features much larger facial tumors and multiple additional tongues protruding from the Smoker's back, head, and throat. These exaggerated mutations, along with some slouching animations, help players quickly distinguish the Smoker from the common infected, a visual technique Valve used to help players identify characters by distinctive silhouettes alone, a lesson learned during the development of Team Fortress 2 and which has since been applied to Left 4 Dead and Dota 2. Avaricia, or greed and avarice, may be represented by the Smoker. The Smoker's main role involves attempting to isolate sole survivors, sometimes in ways that make it difficult or impossible for the other infected to assist with the kill. In Dictionnaire Infernal, avarice is shown as a demon Mammon, who represents wealth in the Bible. It is mentioned that Mammon taught men to wrest away the earth's riches, much the same way the Smoker wrests away one survivor from the group. He is depicted as a man tightly gripping a sack of money, hoarding it away from the others, much in the same way the Smoker's tongue grips a survivor. The Jockey and its underdeveloped legs and hunched appearance may suggest that they are suffering from some kind of spinal disease, growth defect, or similar disability before or after becoming infected. Luxuria, lechery, or lust may be represented by the Jockey as they attempt to isolate survivors from a group for their own benefit by quite literally riding them through the crowds.
Is this thing humping me?
In Colin de Plancy's Dictionnaire Infernal, Asmodeus, the Prince of Lechery, is described as having chicken legs and can be seen riding a tiger. This gave rise to the title The Devil on Two Sticks, something later translated to the Lame Devil. Spitters, similar to boomers, may be the result of the virus hijacking the body's natural digestive functions, in this case to produce stomach acid. This may be caused by an illness such as a bacterial ulcer being present before infection with green flu. Burn wounds and signs of serious erosion can be seen around the spitter's mouth and on her chest, suggesting that while her body is overproducing stomach acids, it's not entirely immune to their effect. The spitter's signature unhinged jaw appears to be a direct result of exposure to the acid, as the gums, tongue, and skin, and even part of the jawbone appear to have melted away sometime after infection. This may also be the reason the spitter walks so erratically, as her internal cavities and muscles may be degrading due to exposure to the acid. The spitter may represent invidia, or envy, which is often represented by the Leviathan. Over time, the Leviathan, originally a depiction of Satan, began to represent the hell mouth, the literal mouth of hell, or the throat of the dragon, which fits right in as a description of the spitter. Tanks are characterized by their extreme aggression and large muscular frame, a mutation that could be caused by a condition known as myostatin-related muscle hypertrophy, which causes the body to produce very little myostatin, the hormone responsible for inhibiting muscle growth. These mutations and the increased aggression are theorized to be related to the use of steroids, human growth hormones, or creatine supplements in the bloodstream of the infected person. If a tank goes too long without hitting a survivor, it will die quickly, seemingly out of frustration. While important for gameplay purposes, this may exist if the tank suffers from extreme chemical dependency on adrenaline or catecholamiline, the hormones associated with anger and aggression. However, this theory may be disproven by the existence of the captured tank featured in the Docs chapter of The Sacrifice. While the fresh blood on the tank's hands and arms could indicate that it recently killed someone or something to satisfy its frustration, it seems more likely that the tank is bleeding after having broken the restraints on its wrists. It's worth noting that the tank encountered in the Docs also features a Marine Corps symbol tattooed on its chest. This may further support the idea that the green flu was engineered to be weaponized, as shown by a live specimen sign sprayed onto the side of the train carriage. The Charger's mutations, like the tanks, are thought to be the result of adrenaline or steroids present in the victim's bloodstream. However, the disproportional muscle development may be caused by steroids or drugs applied locally. The prevalence of adrenaline shots found in Left 4 Dead 2 may be evidence of this, as CETA may have been using adrenaline shots as a way to treat or slow infection which backfired, accidentally creating the Charger. This may explain why the Charger is not found in the first Left 4 Dead, since adrenaline shots were not yet available and were likely still being manufactured or distributed by CETA. Ira or Wrath may be represented by both the tank and Charger. As discussed, the tank features a rage meter which builds up when they have successful attacks, which on depletion kills the tank. They must be in a constant state of heightened aggression in order to survive. Since Chargers are speculated to be related to the tank's mutations, affected by steroid adrenaline shots given by CETA, they would fall under the same classification. The Witch is unique, as she appears to maintain some of her mental faculties more so than the other infected. Her extremely depressive state allows her to ignore survivors unless she is directly disturbed by violence, loud noises, physical contact, or harsh lighting. She may be represented by acedia, or sloth and discouragement. Acedia is associated with a lack of care or concern with one's position or condition in the world, leading to the inability to perform one's duties in life. This depressive state can be brought on by a biological state called torpor, a physically inactive state observed in animals usually caused by a reduced body temperature and metabolic rate, potentially explaining the witch's extremely pale skin. Torpor is often used to help animals survive during periods of colder temperatures, as it allows them to save the energy that would normally be used to maintain a high body temperature. If the tank expires quickly due to the overactive adrenal glands, then the relatively docile witch, who can be entirely bypassed if she remains unprovoked, may have a much longer lifespan, allowing for the sickness to spread, even after all the other infected specimens have died. Acedia is represented by the demon Belphegor, who is sometimes stated as trying to disprove that marriage results in happiness, which may explain the significance of the witch bride. Regardless of their biological and cultural foundations, the special infected clearly illustrate Valve's ability to reveal lore through gameplay and in-game imagery in very subtle ways. With last year's leak from Valve's project tracker, Jira, hinting at Left 4 Dead 3's development and the recent reveal of Source 2, it will be interesting to see how the series potentially mutates in the near future. And that brings us to the end of another episode of ValveTime Database. Be sure to share suggestions for future episodes in the comments below, to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all the latest Valve news and developments. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.